Uh, hey, can you pass the pitcher of water? Huh? Oh yeah, yeah. Here. Mm, thanks. Uh, hey, your shirt looks nice. Thanks, man. Is that a new shirt? Nope. Looks nice, dude. I gotta tell you about this dream I had last night. Okay, I'm in. Go on ahead. The floor is yours, man. I wake up in this world just full of werewolves, right? And I'm the only human, and naturally, you know, just werewolves. They just don't like humans, and so I'm trying as hard as I can to try to like fit into this werewolf society. And the only way I thought could be, the most applicable would be to get some sort of like disguise, right? And so I could disguise myself as a werewolf and then just like roam around, right? And no one would know that I'm a human. And also, it's kind of weird because like the entire world was like perpetually, it was like perpetual nighttime throughout this world. So I guess calling them werewolves might be a little bit of an overstatement because I never really saw them transition from wolf, well, from man to wolf. I only saw them just as just like what a traditional werewolf looks like. But I was walking down this one trail and I stumbled across this corpse. There's this wolf corpse, and I'm like, perfect. It's gonna be my disguise to roam around in the wolf world. And so, you know, I pick it up, I clean it, I got that thing, and you know, I kind of just like put him on like a jacket almost, and it worked. It wasn't bad, but it's like the moment I did that, this female wolf out of nowhere just starts running at me, and I turn around and my eyes get super wide, um, and she just tackles me, and she's hugging me, and she's thanking God for some reason, and she's trying to kiss me, and so it turns out that the wolf that I turned into a jacket, that was his wife. And apparently he went missing a couple days prior to me showing up. And she thought that her husband was dead, and she found out that he was alive. At this moment, I'm starting to feel just like a little awkward, because like I don't want to be the guy that tells this woman that her husband is dead, but I got flustered, and so I did what I thought was right in that moment, which was to just start living his life. And so I went to his house, started eating his food, slept in his bed, I worked his job even, and I raised a litter of 8 pups with her. Life was just normal, and it just felt normal. I remember distinctly there was this one night. I was in bed with the mother, and the door like creaks open, the bedroom door. And there was this pup, and he was just sitting there, just staring at me through the crack of the door with these bloodshot eyes, just so wide. And I'm looking back at him, and I'm just, I'm just stuck, just looking at him. And he has this look, and he's looking at me like he knows my secret. And I always thought that there was something up with this pup. Like ever since he was super young, like he was always so talkative and so energetic with anyone and everyone, especially his mother. But whenever it came around to me, whenever I would walk into the room, crickets. And I kept getting this stare all the time. It's not like he's looking at me. It was like he was looking through me. And, I tried to give him a good childhood. I took him to all his games. Any show that he wanted to go see, I was there for that. And he still gave me this stare. I buy him all his favorite snacks, all his favorite foods, to take him camping, do the whole bike thing, and he's still giving me this look, and I'm like, I don't know. It was just tough. It was just really tough to break through to that one specifically. I don't know. I felt very in tune with that family. Like I'd been there for so long that they genuinely felt like my family. And years went by, and years went by, and I still got the same look. And then their mom got sick, and there was nothing that we could do. We tried everything, and ultimately things just fell through. And I remember sitting next to her at the hospital, holding her hand. Well, she grabbed mine, actually. And she looks at me and she goes, everything and everyone eventually comes around. It might not be today. It might not be tomorrow. But it's someday. Because you never know when you're going to be ready for change. But eventually, you come around. You come around. And that just struck a chord with me. And I'm looking at her, and she's looking at me. And there she was. And there she went. That night, I lost control. I remember I was crying myself to sleep and just losing myself. I remember as I'm having this moment, I hear the door creak open. And there's this pup. And he's staring at me with this piercing gaze. Like I had something to do with it. Like I caused what happened to her. And I don't know, it just hurt. It hurt really bad. And I just lost myself in that moment. I remember screaming and yelling at him and just being like, why do you look at me like this? Why this stare, this exact same stare? I try so hard to be a good father for you. I try to be there for you, emotionally, mentally, to help you when you're down, and just be a father. But all you do is give me this same fucking look. This goddamn stare. Why don't you say something? Do something. Anything. It took me a moment to collect myself. In his eyes, I could see in his eyes that, he was scared. Because I had my fist clenched in the air, like I was about to hit him. And that scared me. Because that's not who I am. That's not who I want to be. That's not the type of person I want to project onto, a child, someone younger. And he ran away. I go to chase him, and he's gone. But I found a note right outside the bedroom door. The note was a picture of our family. And there was a message on the note. And the message said, "Thank you for being my dad." I just lost. I lost. And, the years went by, and everyone moved out. I lost contact with them, but, I would hear about, stuff that's happening in his life just from the others, like so-and-so said that, he's got a girlfriend now, and that went up in smoke, and he started seeing this girl, and she was a goddamn junkie. She got him hooked on every drug underneath the moon. It made him sever all of his relationships, all of his friendships, anyone who was close to him in his life, he had to cut them out for her, and because he genuinely loved her, and he genuinely felt for her, and they tried to have a kid, and unfortunately she miscarried, and what happened next was, she ended up robbing him of all of his possessions, and he spent 10 years in prison under now false accused charges of abuse. So when the courts found out, it was already too late. He had already served his entire sentence. his life. He lost a decade. Gone. His credit was ruined. He couldn't get a job. So they let him out, and he just vanished. Just off the grid. And nobody heard from him. Nobody. But I remember going on a walk. I go down this trail, and I get hit with this stench. This putrid, horrid, just disorientingly, just disgusting stench. And I start to gag, and I start retching, and I go to vomit in a nearby bush, and I see these pair of shoes on the ground. And I look up, and it's a man. Not a wolf, not an animal, not a creature, but a man. And I just noticed that he looked so incredibly tired. He was worn out. He looked like he had been homeless. And he was clearly devoid of life. I don't know what was up. I knew for a fact that I had never seen this man in my life. But in that moment, I couldn't tell you what. He just looked so familiar. And then I saw the look. The same look that I have seen my entire life. Then it clicked. I'm looking at my boy. And so I pick up his body and I hold him. And I end up burying him under the tree in the backyard, right where we buried their mother. And I'm just breaking down. Because I feel like a failure. I feel like such a failure. But I'm like, I'm the one that put myself in this position. Out of I don't know, fear for what society might do to me if they found out who I really was. And, you know, it was hard. It was unbelievably hard. But in that moment, that one singular moment, I have never felt so close and yet so distant to something or someone in my entire life. I was a complete stranger, but yet this man, this boy, he was my son. He was a part of my family. And then I woke up. I was like, I just needed to tell somebody that, like, because it was just such a weird dream. You know, the craziest part about that story is the fact that you're still asleep. Yup.
Wake up, 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 wake up.